Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Jupiter going direct on the 4th of February until the 14th of May, when Jupiter enters Gemini and still direct. So when it goes direct this year, it's in Taurus. I'm a Mani, I'm a karmic, holistic, astrological life coach, and I like to go in depth in all that I do, and all of my interpretations, especially when it comes to Venus, Mercury, Sun transits and everything really, are based on Vedic astrology, which is based on where the planets or the luminaries, which are the Sun and the Moon, are any given time in the sky. And all times are in GMT time as well. So yeah, thanks for listening. And yeah, so Jupiter is the planet of expansion and abundance, and it's kind of like when it goes direct out of retrograde, it's a signal from the universe. It's time to take the daily steps to move forward with our plans and dreams, going ahead with creating new routines, and it just makes us feel really optimistic about the opportunities in our life. And even if we feel that there ain't any, we may be more like have that get up and go to go looking for them, but we have to really make sure we tap into this energy and use it wisely. So this year, when Jupiter goes direct, it goes direct in the 18th degree of Taurus. So the positives of this degree is that it allows us to have a sort of like financial glow up. Our cosmic piggy bank can get a serious upgrade right now. It's a good energy to use for planning, saving, thinking about how to increase your finances, how to change how you spend your current finances. It's a good energy that allows us to celebrate just the simple things in life, like you can just get happy over having your favourite sweet or watching your favourite show under this energy, and it just really gives us that energy to manifest. It's a big manifestation mojo. It allows us to really get real about what we really need to do to make our dreams happen, which is learning to understand and manage our emotions, our psychological, spiritual health, learning to relate to ourselves and other people in non-toxic ways, training ourselves to think more positive. We don't need to get rid of the negative thoughts and behaviours altogether, but we do have to find that balance. So negatively, we can overindulge as well. The treat yourself energy can get a little too treaty. It can just be like, yeah, I want it all. So you just need to watch out for overdoing it, over promising, or when you commit to what you can take on, build one new habit into your life a week or a month at a time, rather than trying to change 10 things at once. We can be stubborn under this energy. We can dig our heels in, especially when flexibility is needed, and we can just resist change as well, because we just want to stay in our comfort zone, and this energy wants us to go after that adventure, what's calling us right now. So the best use of this energy is to get your money right. So create a So the best use of this energy is to get your money right, create a solid financial plan, invest in long-term assets, start that side hustle you've been dreaming about, connect with the energies of Taurus, and let it explode your visual and other senses. So it's like a sensory expansion energy that just can want us to really enjoy the beauty of nature, people, of books, of video content, and cooking, redesigning our living space so we can make it more comforting to us, and just exploring different textures and experiences in our daily life. And it wants us to build our skills. This is an energy where we, what is it, the 9th house, right? Jupiter energy, higher learning, going into the deeper meanings of life, taking a course that increases your career prospects, doing practices that increases your spiritual or religious awareness, learning things hands-on, doing woodwork, handicrafts, learning to play the piano or any other instrument, something that really engages more than, one of your senses, trying to use at least two senses at once, and, develop a new talent or use a new talent that can increase your joy and maybe, increase your income for some of you as well. So Jupiter in Taurus wants us to keep grounded while growing, turning our big dreams into tangible realities. So when Jupiter was retrograde, we may have thought about all these changes, but this is doing energy, right? It wants us to find that sweet spot between dreaming big and staying practical, making sure we make strategic plans, write things down, do daily task lists, keep on readjusting, rechanging, upgrading our routine when we I need to give myself more time to do this. I only thought I needed an hour to do this task. I need 3 hours, so I need to adjust my deadlines. Oh, I gave myself 5 hours to do this task, but it only takes me 1, So just keeping up to date with your schedule and thinking on your feet, but also staying connected to the earth. So and being practical in the things that you're doing as well. So that was the short version. If you want the long version, listen on. So now I'm going to talk about the practical meanings and financial, the political and social meanings of Jupiter going direct. So on the financial level, it's energy to use for new investments, career advancements. It's a good energy to use to review your financial goals and consider, expanding your work, your skills, as I said. But it's also important to remain cautious and avoid impulsive financial decisions. So just make sure you only spend what you have, you plan, you don't overindulge. Politically, it can just signal more progress and optimism in politics and initiatives and discussions as well. It brings a renewed focus on growth and development and thinking about the whole and the higher levels of things, rather than, when leaders say bad things about other leaders and nothing's getting solved. Leaders may feel more confident in implementing changes, going ahead and going after ambitious goals and making it happen and getting it done are the key phases of this energy politically. So as individuals, we're going to want our leaders and policies to be more inclusive and diverse and more sort of not just solve it. We're going to want them to solve the problems rather than just, saying, it's this section of people's fault or that section of people, thinking about how to solve the social problems and getting new sort of laws and legislation put in to bring progress into the systems, right? On the mundane, basic, materialistic level, it allows us to focus on our personal growth and development, and it brings a sense of abundance, and we can feel kind of grateful and rich and wealthy, but not because of the things we own, but the things we're doing, experiences. A lot of us may want to, take in different cultures, expand our minds, try new hobbies, try new dating experiences, try reading new spiritual texts or old spiritual texts, new to you, doing things that are new to you. But it's important to avoid doing too much and being excessive and obsessive, and making sure that we take a balanced approach to our material plans. On the social collective level, Jupiter going direct creates a sense of community and teamwork. It's a time when we can just feel more connected and open to new ideas and opinions. It can inspire us to work collectively towards positive growth and change, and it just encourages us to work together with others towards common goals, and looking at solutions rather than, blaming and fault picking. So now I'm going to talk about the psychological, spiritual, esoteric, hidden, symbolic, creative and emotional meanings of Jupiter going direct out of retrograde. So it can bring a surge, an increase in confidence. Psychologically, we can just feel like we know our purpose. It gives us a renewed sense of self, direction. It makes us optimistic, right? So we can just feel more kind of up for it, ready to confront and tackle challenges head on rather than avoiding them, dreaming big, setting ambitious goals, and we can just feel really motivated to chase after what we truly desire. So this is like getting ourselves into the spotlight, ignoring other people, what they're saying about what we should be doing, but not in a way that's toxic, like, oh, you know, I don't care about your feelings, but in a way like, you know, I take responsibility and accountability for my life choices. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to upgrade my plans at every step, you know, by doing a daily schedule, ticking off things, adjusting deadlines when need be, and building self-confidence and belief in myself. But on the negative end, this newfound self-confidence can, you know, change into overconfidence, and we can just take too much risk without considering the consequences. So we must weigh up the pros and cons, not rushing, you know, write a plan. Make sure that we do have those solid plans, because sometimes when we don't do that, when we don't have a solid plan, we only realise later that we may have been better off with a plan, and we could have bitten off more than we can chew, more than we can do. So this is why it's important to write down all your goals, do a schedule, being prepared to readjust that schedule, and, you know, just building that self-confidence and working through your emotional, psychological and spiritual wounds, because typically, you know, unresolved trauma stops us from moving forward because we're still living in that trauma, in that past, right? So, you know, spiritually it wants us to explore our motivations and growth, and to deal with our, you know, issues of abandonment, rejection, unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment, stuff like that, self-hate, self-loathing, and building more self-love and acceptance and forgiveness. And I know it can be hard to do, but this energy really wants us to open up to new philosophies and practices that resonate with your soul, high consciousness. Take that time to nurture your mind, body and soul, to deepen your connection with your higher self, or with just higher thought, with a spiritual path, to start or continue a new spiritual, higher consciousness, religious, intellectual, philosophical journey. And, you know, asking yourself what it is you really want to do in the spiritual sort of like level, you know, what's calling you right now, what do you want to focus on? But negatively, we can overly focus on the spiritual and the intellectual and the philosophical without dealing with the practical. So yeah, you know, float away but stay grounded, but don't lose sight of your spiritual essence, you know, but take care of the practicals. Make sure that you're staying true to yourself, but, you know, not getting stuck in the old, you know, daring to go after the new opportunities, you know, but don't get too focused on material gains and, you know, just wanting to see the benefits of your new routines ASAP. Remember, change takes time, right? So historically, it wants us to really think about our life path. We can sort of like hidden truths and insights can be revealed to us right now about our life path, and it can guide us towards our higher purpose. It asks us to think about the truths that are waiting to be uncovered in our journey, and are we willing to accept these truths that are waiting to be uncovered? And if not, why are we avoiding the truths? You know, secrets can come to light. You know, Jupiter's going direct, it's expanding, you know, so all sort of like 9th house, sort of like higher hidden truths can come to light. But, you know, negatively, because these truths can come to light, uncomfortable issues can surface, you know, some things we don't want to know. That's why, you know, the sorts of things as hidden and secrets, right? And we can find ourselves facing or having no choice but to face aspects of ourselves and life and other people that we've been avoiding. And, you know, you can ask yourself, are there parts of yourself that you need to pay attention to and do need healing? And if you do avoid them, why, you know? And often we're scared, and sometimes we think the past is the past, but sometimes the past keeps dealing with us until when we deal with it. So, you know, we really have to confront the things that we've been hiding away from, especially when it comes to, you know, Jupiter stuff like having faith, being optimistic, being open to the deeper meanings of ourself and life, you know, being open to different opinions and cultures, traveling, getting outside of our comfort zone, doing new things, So on the symbolic creative level, it wants us to channel our ideas, our creative thoughts into real tangible projects rather than just talking about it. Do it. But make sure that your ideas are grounded in reality, cap, the proof will be in the pudding, the doing. Can you practically do this idea physically, the proof will be in the output by what you create. So it's time to work with others, start new artistic plans, but negatively, the sudden influx, the sudden rush of ideas can feel overwhelming, and it can make it hard for us to focus on one thing at a time. So, some of you may feel stuck right now because you're trying to bring many visions to life and you're unsure of where to start. Start at the beginning, start small, don't beat yourself up for the many failures that will happen as you go to your success, So emotionally, it wants us to embrace and vibe with relationships with renewed enthusiasm, doing the things that bring us joy, and we may feel more open to connecting with others and sharing our feelings, opening our hearts to new experiences, but negatively, it can have a sort of roller coaster effect, leading to us feeling anxious and restless and impulsive. If we don't use this energy wisely and channel it into things that are productive, uplifting for our emotional, spiritual and psychological well-being, So it wants us to sort of like navigate the emotional ups and downs and ensuring that we stay balanced in between the assignment, Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Jupiter makes when it goes direct out of retrograde this year. So it makes a trine with the Sun. So Jupiter's trine to the Sun boosts the confidence, and we can feel like we're able to conquer the world, and this energy allows it to just seem like, everything's going our way. Opportunities can just seem to fall out of the sky like confetti. Our optimism and other people's energy can be contagious, and people can be drawn to good vibes, and you can be drawn to other people's good vibes. But we just need to watch out for overconfidence and doing more than we can deliver, because this Sun's trying to Jupiter amplifies this already overconfidence, cocky, rocky energy of Jupiter direct, right? So Mercury also makes a trine to Jupiter, so not only will we be cocky in physical actions, but in communication as well. But positively, it makes us more kind of intelligent. Our minds can be quicker, even if we're normally mentally slow. Ideas can flow like a river. We can be, sharp as a tack, as they say. Our communication skills can be accurate, on point, We could kind of like just sell ice to, someone who lives surrounded by ice, and we can just sort of like, find out opportunities to travel locally or abroad or learn new things on or offline to do with different cultures can come up out of nowhere, but we just need to watch out for doing all the things at once and information overload, and we may talk too much and forget to listen, or gossip and just cause problems. So just watch your communication with this energy of Jupiter being direct for the next sort of like 5 months or so, 6-7 months. Jupiter also makes a quincunx to the midheaven, so this allows us to think outside of the box in our careers. Unexpected opportunities for growth can come in our public life. We can sort of like feel out of sync with our life direction though. We can find it difficult to balance personal growth with professional obligations. Venus is quintile to Jupiter. It's kind of like the energy of like Cupid and Lady Luck having a baby. It's inward energy, so we can just feel inwardly lucky, and this can shine without, because Jupiter's expanding everything, right? So our charm, our compassion, empathy, our ability to talk and connect with others can be off the Richter right now, really high. Our creative inspiration can really be flowing, but we just need to watch out for letting this popularity go to our head ahead of this overindulgent energy, because Jupiter's already expanding everything, right? Remember that too much of a good thing does exist. It's all about the balance. Do not do too much. Do not ignore red flags. Check the facts of any information you're given. Anyone new you meet, make sure you stay alert. Not to push people away, but just to make sure you're not being taken advantage of, and don't take advantage of others as well. Jupiter also makes a quintile to Neptune, so again it allows us to have intuitive inspiration and spiritual insights, increases our creativity, especially in music, art and anything mystical, so good for intellectual, philosophical and spiritual research. But we need to make sure once again that we don't float away too much, and we need to stay grounded and beware of get rich quick schemes or spiritual bypass tendencies, the surface level of learning spirituality or anything else, just reading a book or listening to one podcast and thinking you're like a guru, or getting taken in by people that are trying to sell you instant activations into spirituality, and it just doesn't work like that. Change takes time and dedication, right? Especially change that lasts, right? So yeah, beware of ignoring red flags and just things that are sound too good to be true, probably are. Fact check, because there are quite a few aspects expanding this, right? And Jupiter makes a quintile to the North Node, so again it supports us having insights about our life purpose, so this is good. We can have unexpected experiences that feel fated, but we just need to make sure that we don't ignore the practical steps that are needed to chase our dreams, or the practical things we need to do, like pay the bills, take care of the children and stuff like that, and avoid the temptation to take shortcuts on your path. Yes, it may take long to learn things, to learn a new skill. It may seem quicker to look for shortcuts, but 9 times out of 10 often the shortcuts mean that we gotta not only do the thing again, but we've wasted all that time trying to gain things through a shortcut, right? So this energy is, brings us creative connection, but we just need to remember with great powers come great responsibility. We have to stay grounded and not let our egos run wild, and as we make real positive changes to bring long lasting changes into our life, not just the short ones, okay? So at the time of Jupiter going direct this year, there's also a 3-point stellium that happens between Chiron, Neptune and the North Node in Pisces, and this is within a 36% orb. So this energy increases our intuition and psychic abilities. Some of you may start predicting the future in your sleep. It gives us the deep capacity for empathy and compassion for ourselves and others. It gives us the potential for deep, next level, profound spiritual growth and enlightenment. We can feel really creatively inspired, and we can just have a stronger connection to our life purpose. So we've got a lot of energy really working together. But the negatives of this stellium is that we can get lost in fantasy. Our increased sensitivity can lead to us being emotionally overwhelmed. We can escape through unhealthy means. We can have difficulty setting boundaries. There can be confusion about our path in life, having too many options and too little time to do them. So this is what I said, we have to pick our sort of battles wisely over the next 7 months. Jupiter is direct. So to really rock this energy, we need to vibe with our inner mystic, but keep one foot on the ground, use our sensitivity as a superpower, not as a weakness, channel our creativity into tangible, no-cap projects, practice grounded techniques, stay anchored to ourselves, help others, but don't forget to help yourself too, So now I'm just going to talk a bit deeper about the 18th degree of Taurus. This is the energy that's going to carry us through the next 5 to 7 months. Jupiter's direct, So the Sabian symbol is a woman airing a linen bag through a sunny window. So esoterically, it's like a cosmic fabric Grease commercial, isn't it? But way cooler. It gives us the energy of purification and renewal. The act of airing out represents spiritual cleansing and the release of stagnant, dead zone energy. So working through those emotional, psychological and spiritual wounds, letting go of toxic relationships, self-destructive habits and addictions, getting help, to work through our toxic thoughts, and giving our soul and our lifestyle a good spring clean by changing our habits, really thinking about what we can do to make our lives better and doing it. It brings a light of consciousness. The sunny window symbolises illumination and awareness. The universe is putting a spotlight on our inner world. It's wanting us to work with the divine feminine energy, our self-love and awareness, and to transform the mundane, the everyday, using our imagination, brightening up our lives, opening up to that mystical energy, Sagittarius energy. It's a half horse centaur visionary kind of creature, the imagery, the centaur, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, right? So this energy is about tapping into the unknown, the higher meaning, setting sacred intention and taking sacred action, really tapping into that inner spirituality energy and that self-love and forgiveness energy. It wants us to be open to fresh opinions and perspectives, opening up our eyes to sometimes suddenly this energy can make us see opportunities and things we missed before. It expands our values. It gives us the ability to manifest abundance and appreciate life's simple pleasures, and to think about why have we come to believe the things that we believe. Asking yourself, are your beliefs really your own, or just what you've been told to think, and why do you think what you do think? It wants us to do things on a practical level, so be spiritual, but do it practically. How can we ground spiritual concepts into our everyday life? Jupiter direct may inspire us to turn our woo-woo ideas, into tangible realities. It's only sometimes woo-woo because we can't put it into practice, but when we put it into practice, the woo-woo becomes practical, right? So it wants us to cleanse our beliefs and let go of all those dusty, rusty old beliefs, as I said, that no longer serve you. Taking the time to do it, it's not going to come overnight. Don't beat yourself up when you realise you got a lot of limiting beliefs. The trick is to accept yourself and love yourself as you are, as you take the daily actions to become who you want to be, and just, renovate your home, renovate your inner home, go to therapy, work on your personal development, change around your kitchen or your bedroom at home, just think about how you can make your home more efficient and more pleasing to your eye, not about anyone else's taste but your taste. But we just need to watch out for being stubborn, as I said, overindulging, spiritual materialism, getting caught up in the fanciest crystals and the clothing, spiritual clothing, and the most expensive yoga mat or other techniques, rather than the practicality of, how can we build more love and awareness into our life, because that's what true spirituality is about. Watch out for overthinking simple tasks as well, making, mountains out of molehills, sometimes we can blow things out of proportion. Yes, we must not ignore the small details, but Jupiter's energy about thinking out the bigger picture as well. But we don't miss the smaller details, which is the daily practical actions we need to do, changes we need to make to our lifestyle to make Jupiter's needs of expansion, changing our opinions and beliefs and tapping into a higher intellectual, philosophical, spiritual kind of motivation, So to rock this energy properly, practice gratitude, declutter your physical and mental space, do things that nurtures your growth in your home and within yourself, ground big ideas into practical steps, balance your material and spiritual plans, and just find the magical, the sacred, the inspirational in the everyday, and just have appreciation for who you are and what you have as well. And it's kind of like a cosmic kind of feng shui, yin and yang, balancing point for our life to rearrange our inner and outer world for maximum good vibes and growth. So this imagery, reminds us to open the window, shed light on our psychological, emotional, spiritual issues and to work through them and let the sun shine into our life. So emotionally wants us to be more optimistic and release pent-up feelings and frustrations. Do daily emotional check-ins, keep a gratitude journal, and try some deep breathing or other breathing exercises, or open a window, literally go outside, get some fresh air. On the spiritual level, it's about connecting with the divine feminine energy, integrating the spiritual into our daily life, create a sacred space within our physical home, within our minds, for wellness checks and self-love and understanding and acceptance and forgiveness. And, we can practice mindfulness even while doing household chores or everything that we're doing, trying to stay in the present moment and keep on going, because, it can take years sometimes, but never give up. And the more you keep on practicing meditation and mindfulness, remember, we've all got different techniques. It's not about clearing the mind completely. It's about becoming aware of the mind, being mindful of what you're thinking. And then as you become mindful, you want to think different things, especially if they're toxic thoughts. So you start doing more positive things. You start working through your trauma, and this is how you become more mindful over time. Some things we have to experience things, but the intellect wants us to overthink and think, oh, we ain't making much progress. But believe me, sometimes, some things just click into place, but for it to click into place, we have to practice it daily, right? So, we can connect with clearing energies like burning incense and smudging and sound healing. On the physical level, because the 18th degree of Taurus rules the lymph vessels, right? It wants us to think about how we can, drain our lymphatic system, rebounding, drinking things, detoxifying to support our health, right? Not only of the lymph but other nodes, do things that improve our movement and circulation, clean our living environment, On the practical level, we can try dry brushing, to stimulate lymph flow or stay hydrated, incorporate gentle bouncing exercises, rebounding is very good, having more mental clarity, letting go of outdated thought patterns and being more optimistic in your mindset. Try visualization techniques to help you be more positive. Journaling can help you clear your mind. Connecting with activities that bring you joy and lighten your mood can be really good for you as well. On the esoteric occult meanings, this Sabian degree wants us to transform the container of our soul by letting the rays of information, divine light, spiritual, intellectual, philosophical understanding, tapping into the divine feminine, our emotional feelings, and nurturing ourselves and others, and to balance the element of air, represented by the window, and fire, represented by the sun, and combine it with purifying, which is like the earth, represented by the linen, the woman's airing out a linen through the window, right? So it wants us to balance our emotional and our doing, our ego, and, staying grounded as we do so. And, just allow ourselves to do things daily that can air out our energy field, even if it's just 1 to 2 minutes of meditation, doing things to boost our mood and vitality in healthy ways, and practice the art of letting go, physically and emotionally, letting go of toxic relationships and toxic emotional thoughts and, all of that, but not beat yourself up about it, just doing it on a day-to-day basis, and being gentle with yourself is the most important thing. So now I'm just going to talk about the karmic meanings and lessons and the sort of dreams that may come up when Jupiter goes direct, and the collective kind of issues, karma, that we may work through. So in terms of personal karmic meanings and lessons, we can start seeing the bigger picture of our soul's journey. It expands, increases our karmic awareness, and it intensifies life lessons that sort of around the reoccurring repeated themes in your life. So, things that you've been trying to run away from, especially when it comes to thinking deeply about your emotions or psychological trauma or your spirituality in general, or increasing your intellectual skill. If you've been ignoring the calling to do something more, get outside of your comfort zone, then this energy just amplifies, what you've been trying to run away from. It accelerates our spiritual growth as well. The key lessons to focus on when Jupiter goes direct is accepting, vibing with abundance without guilt, finding meaning in your experiences, being open to new perspectives, new cultures, new people, balancing optimism with realism, the ethereal with the practical, recognizing the teacher in every situation. So rather than thinking about how can I avoid this, who do I need to blame, think what can I learn from this, in terms of past life memories and dreams. We may have vivid dreams of ancient civilizations or different foreign lands, different cultures and countries to our own. We can gain sudden skills or knowledge that we can't explain. There can be an increase in intense connections with strangers that feel familiar. We may find ourselves dreaming of being a wise teacher or spiritual leader. We can start or continue on epic journeys or adventures. We can experience great abundance, or we may experience, devastating losses. In terms of the collective karma, we can just see changes in what people believe in. Globally, we can see the growth of social justice movements, as we have been seeing, and more of collective awakening to spiritual truths. We can also notice an increased interest in alternative healing, spirituality, changes in educational systems towards a more holistic approach, instead of, English and science being taught separately, which they can be and will continue to be, but thinking about the connections between subjects, and we can just have more of a collective desire for truth and meaning in this ever growing chaotic world, right? And it can be like the world is waking up from a spiritual kind of sleep and nap, and stretching its kind of cosmic muscles. So in terms of practical steps for our karmic growth, we can meditate on abundance and keep a dream journal, practice forgiveness, letting go of old grudges, learning to focus on love and opening ourselves up to receiving love from ourselves and others, looking for new experiences and paying attention to coincidences, as this can be the universe sending us cosmic winks, sort of that confirmation on the direction to go. So now I'm going to talk about how Jupiter direct can affect all the different types of relationships, and what we can do about that. Okay, so in terms of family relationship, we can have increased understanding and empathy between generations, parent, child, older sibling, younger sibling. It gives an opportunity for healing long-standing family arguments. It allows us to go back to or increase our family traditions, maybe traditions of meeting up on Sunday for lunch, or creation of a new family tradition, such as a family games night, something like that, or something deeper, family religious study night or spiritual study night. But negatively, we can overstep boundaries in the name of growth. People can push the growth. We all know that sometimes a parent finds a new philosophy and tries to implement it on the other family members. Stuff like that may happen, and we can just feel overwhelmed by sudden changes, So, we have to make sure, we work within other people's comfort zones, practice active listening, ask the right questions, be open to talking and asking questions, and to listening and to realizing that we all have different needs, and desires. In terms of friendships, it can make our existing friendships more deeper, more closer. It gives us opportunity to repair arguments, to make things new, to have meaningful connections, conversations, and to increase our the time spent. And we can just be big-hearted and generous, and we can just be supportive and more supportive in our friendship groups. But negatively, again, it can be overwhelming. We can overpromise things and take on too many social commitments, and some friendships may feel the strain of the rapid growth and change, because sometimes meeting someone new can be good and we can get sort of like lost and spend more time, but then it can become overwhelming when we think, oh my gosh, what about my hobbies? Or not only that, sometimes it can just be overwhelming when you're used to one routine and a new one happens, so we have to just make sure we allow for those changes, respect each other's boundaries, and to slow things down when need be. So it's great for friendship adventures and learning together as well. In terms of co-worker relationships, it's like hitting a turbo button on our office and workplace dynamics. It's a great energy, and it improves our team working, and it's an opportunity to help each other, mentorship and working on our professional growth in teams. There can be an increased optimism and motivation in the workplace, but negatively there can be too much competition and jealousy, everybody going for that same promotion energy, and overconfidence can lead to missed deadlines or errors, so make sure you check facts, make sure you work with others, make sure you be respectful, smile on the way to the top and smile on the way down, that sort of thing. You never know when you may come back down, so just be careful about what you're doing on your way up. It's a great energy for team building exercises and skill sharing and just spreading the joy in the workplace. In terms of committed couples, it's like a relationship miracle grow, fertilizer. It allows us to have a renewed sense of adventure and excitement in our relationships. It's a great energy for personal growth and learning. It can make us feel more generous and big-hearted. We can take each other for granted, and it can also lead to one partner outgrowing the other temporarily, or it may be a long-term thing. So just, again, ask the right questions, respect that the other person may not want to grow at the same speed as you, but the other person who doesn't want to grow, respect the other person does want to grow, and try and come for that compromise. Think, really, do you want this relationship to end? If you don't, then you have to compromise. That's what relationships are about, right? So, it's a good energy to plan a bucket list adventure, to practice actively listening to each other and just doing the things to align with each other's growth journeys and be open to different needs and meeting them. In terms of hookup relationships, honesty about our desires and expectations can be increased. We can be more open. We can have more fun and adventure in our hookup experiences. Casual relationships can turn into something more. Commitment can come into it, but we need to just watch out for misreading signals or overestimating the connection. This energy can make us get carried away. Jupiter's direct. It's it's doing its worst. It's making us optimistically overly wanting to ignore red flags. This can lead to overdoing things, overindulgence, reckless behaviour. So we've got to make sure we ask the right questions. Clear communication is key. Enjoy the ride, but don't lose sight of boundaries, and truth. In terms of those who are single and self-partnered, it allows us to level up our self-love game. It allows us to be more self-aware, loving, understanding, confident, gives us that opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. It allows us to attract like-minded individuals into our life, but we can have unrealistic expectations of future relationships. We can overlook red flags in the excitement of new connections, new relationships. So, the best use of this energy is to continue or start your personal growth journey, and just to make use of understanding, being, and loving on yourself and forgiving yourself, so it's a sort of like, when Jupiter goes direct, it's like a relationship booster shot for all types of connections. It increases the good, it highlights the areas we need to grow, and it pushes us towards having more meaningful relationships with ourselves or others. So it's just best to open up our hearts and be ready for growth in our relationships. So now I'm going to talk about how Jupiter direct affects our personal, spiritual, and career and education development. So in terms of career development, it gives us increased opportunities for advancement and recognition. It allows us to expand our professional networks and our connections with others, and it just gives us the boost in confidence to go after our goals right now. But negatively, we can overcommit and take on more than we can handle, and this overconfidence can lead to careless mistakes, and this can cost us, I wouldn't say, our jobs, but, it can get us a telling off or just lead to some error, especially if you've got an important job like you work in healthcare, something like that. So you just need to make sure you give yourself the time needed, do everything you can to manage stress and self-doubt right now, and, use this time to update your LinkedIn profiles and other career profiles, and, your CVs, your resumes, stuff like that, and start that side hustle you've been dreaming about. In terms of our personal development, it increases our self-awareness and personal insights. It allows us to transform, especially on the personal, emotional, spiritual and psychological levels. It allows us to get out of our comfort zones and push our personal boundaries as well, and discover a whole new side of ourselves. You may sign up for a new course or a new class, something like that, something that gives you confidence, but negatively, you may neglect practical responsibilities in going after your growth, or you may be overwhelmed by too many self-improvement goals. So just make sure that you only take on what you can manage right now, even if it's one thing at a time. It's quality over quantity. It's what you can complete over doing loads of things and not completing any, So yeah, just make sure you do things slow and steady so you don't become overwhelmed and be subject to burnout, one step at a time. In terms of spiritual development, it allows us to find a deeper connection to our spiritual practices and insights, connect with our spiritual community or different spiritual communities, and it can just be an increasing aha, I get this now moments, things may just come to you suddenly, even if you haven't been able to understand it for years, but negatively, we can just do surface level spiritual, intellectual, philosophical kind of research and not go in depth and bypass the hard work, and avoid real life issues and doing that side at work, putting your knowledge, right, the information into daily practice. This is how we turn it into wisdom, right? This is how we know we believe the things that we say we believe, because we do them, right? And we just need to watch out for being overconfident and zealous in our spiritual plans, doing too much, ignoring responsibilities, pushing our beliefs onto others. Remember, people come into their own spirituality in their own time. So yeah, just watch out for being too enthusiastic and fanatical and pushing your beliefs on others and ignoring your relationships and work responsibilities. Balance is key. Make sure you practice practical grounding practices and do a journal to track your journey, and just to make sure that you don't neglect any other area of your life, which is a thing. It's a big thing, especially when we delve into the astrological spiritual realms. So in terms of educational development, it can make us more enthusiastic for learning and gaining new knowledge, and it allows us to travel online or on physical travel and have cross-cultural experiences. So this can be talking to different people from different cultures on your course. It allows us to expand our beliefs and perspectives, but negatively we can just do too many things, take on too many new subjects, and just, become burnt out. And neglect our practical skills in the the pursuit of aspect knowledge and vague ideas, and ignoring the basics and going for the big ideas. Make sure you learn the basics before you try and learn the in-depth. The basics of anything is key. So, make sure you use this intensify energy wisely, stay grounded, make a proper plan, don't take on too much. So now I'm just going to talk about the best things to do with the energy of Jupiter direct. So if you're more creative, person, you can attend or host a big idea, brainstorming party with fellow creatives, start that passion project you've been putting off or continuing it, experiment with a new technique, maybe create something new every day for a week, or even if it's small, even if it's just one word of a poem, something like that, letting Jupiter's expansive energy motivate your artistic fires, For professionals, you can talk to others about innovative ideas, especially to, maybe bosses or clients, organise or attend a skill sharing workshop, revamp your professional image, a LinkedIn glow up, a resume, CV glow up, reach out to industry leaders, network, stuff like that. Entrepreneurs should use this energy to launch that new product or service you've been developing, expand your network through industry events or online communities, invest in personal development or increase your business skills. Alternative healers should use this to develop a new healing technique that combines your different skills, maybe host or attend a virtual healing retreat or workshop kind of series, or read a podcast or make a podcast or collaborate with other healers for a mind, body, spirit wellness event on or offline. For lovers, the best use of this energy is to organise a date night, get outside of your comfort zone, create a relationship vision board, talk about what you want to do to align with your future individual and couple goals, start a couples book or podcast or any other club, hobby night or learning experience together, write love notes to each other each day for a week, focus on growth and appreciation, letting Jupiter increase your affection. If you're self-partnered or single, you can have a date night with yourself or with other single friends, start a passion project or continue that passion project about personal happiness or anything else, go on a solo adventure or retreat to connect with yourself, or create one at home, create a self-love ritual, a Jupiter jar, fill it with self-appreciation notes, read one each day to remind yourself of your awesomeness, how great you are. And just be open to healing, loving on yourself and others, and just being open to dreaming more widely and acting more courageously, and be open to newness in your relationship with yourself and others. So now I'm just going to talk about some questions you can ask yourself about the different areas of your life when Jupiter goes direct. So in terms of your finances, you can ask yourself, what limiting beliefs about money are you ready to release? How can you expand your income streams in alignment with your true values? What are your true values about money? How can you change them? Why do you think you can't have what you want if this is how you feel about money? Think about what bold financial move would you change if you weren't afraid to make that change. The money mantra can be, I'm open to receiving abundance in unexpected ways. So in terms of emotional self-reflection, you can ask yourself, what emotions have I been repressing that I need to express? How can I expand my capacity for joy and positivity? Asking yourself what relationship patterns you're ready to break free from. You can keep an emotional expansion journal, thinking about, your emotions, writing down what you feel and what you are running away from, or just, giving yourself positive feedback on how to understand and manage your emotional health. In terms of your spiritual self-reflection, you can ask yourself, what spiritual practice am I curious about but haven't tried? You can ask yourself, how can I integrate my spirituality into my daily to-day life more? What higher purpose am I being called to explore? Maybe spend 10 minutes each day in silence, asking the universe, what do you want me to know, and being open to the answers, In terms of psychological self-reflection, you can ask yourself, what outdated beliefs about myself am I ready to expand, grow beyond, how can I challenge myself to grow in new uncomfortable ways, what hidden potential within myself am I ready to unleash, to let out, to work with, to vibe with, to nurture, You can create a future self-vision board that pushes beyond your current self-image, dream big. And in terms of questions to ask yourself about your physical health, you can think about, how can I grow my definition of health and wellness? What new physical activity am I curious to try? How can I show more appreciation and care for my body through exercise, meditation, breath work, eating right, drinking enough water, things like that. So other questions that you can ask yourself is, if I could expand any area of my life without limits, what would it be? What's the boldest dream? What's the biggest goal I want? What's my wildest career dream, money dream, and why am I too afraid to go after it now? And you can ask yourself, how can I use my personal growth to make a positive impact on others? So now I'm just going to talk about some self-care rituals that can help you work with Jupiter's direct energy. So you can, as I said, keep a Jupiter journal, grab your favourite journal or buy some sparkly pens set a timer for 11 minutes, that's Jupiter's lucky number, and write about your wildest dreams and biggest hopes. Don't hold back. Jupiter's all about expansion, dreaming big, letting that wild centaur energy, imagination to run free, and no dream is too big for Jupiter energy, Maybe an abundance bath, so you could add Epsom salts for grounded, drop in some essential cinnamon oil for prosperity and good luck, and sprinkle in some dried orange peel for joy and optimism. And while soaking, visualize yourself surrounded by abundance in all forms and feel it like seeping into your pores. You can design a vision board, gather magazines, scissors, glue, print things off of the internet, Reddit, Pinterest, whatever, and design a poster board, cut out images and words that represent your expanded self, your authentic self, the self you want to be. Arrange and glue them in a way that feels expansive and exciting to you, and hang it everywhere daily, and have it like a cosmic vision GPS kind of guiding you. You can create a gratitude journal which you can write in daily, or just while you're looking up upon the stars, or just challenge yourself to find new things each day to appreciate and feel grateful about. You can sort of like do an expansive eating experience where you really slow down with your eating, try new things you never tried before, experiment with cooking a fancy meal you normally would only get at a restaurant, invite friends over, like a kind of potluck where everyone brings a dish from a different culture, something like that. Sort of like expand your knowledge, sign up for online course, visit a museum, start learning a new language, or continue learning that new language, and of course a dance party, a cosmic dance party. We can't forget Jupiter's all about joy and celebration, right? And shaking what we were given by Mother Earth, and just creating a playlist of upbeat or music that feel good to you. Clear some space in your living room or bedroom or wherever and dance like no one else is watching, and just lose yourself and allow the expansive energy of Jupiter to flow through your body, and just be as ridiculous as you can with the dance moves. Just let yourself go. It's not about doing it right, it's about letting yourself feel expansive and comfortable and open to newness, right? And just reaching for things that are positive and sort of like nurturing to you, so yeah. So overall, Jupiter going direct positively is a time of growth and renewal. It motivates and accelerates us towards our goals. We can have increased confidence, optimism, sense of adventure, and it gives us plenty of opportunities for personal and spiritual, intellectual, philosophical growth. It can just make us feel more open, more abundant, more open to new people, experiences and ideas, and just to expand our horizons, going out there and getting what we want, going for our highest potential, and just, maybe traveling, educating ourselves, but negatively, it can make us too overconfident and take on more than we can handle, and we can overindulge, overspend. So it's crucial to maintain the balance and not let the enthusiasm of this energy make us feel overwhelmed, be burnt out, or make reckless decisions and have unrealistic expectations of ourselves and others. The best use of this energy is to focus on setting clear goals and intentions, revisiting projects and plans that have stalled during the retrograde period, open and embrace and vibe with opportunities for learning and growth, and just practice being grateful and generous to yourself and others, and this is how you can attract more abundance into your life. So yeah, that's the end of this in-depth analysis of what to do when Jupiter goes direct. I'm Amani, your holistic astrological life coach. Take care and see you next time.